Pashas, Viexi, Tafshin Pei Vav. Sefer Bereshis is coming to an end. Every last parsha has tremendous seidos, and we have to see from here what we can learn to take with us on our way through the next sefer into Mitzrayim. As promised anyway, last week, in the second vote that I wrote, that I sent out, it's going to be sent out to you tomorrow. I sent out today, just not long ago. So you will see what I promised to write, to open the eyes of everyone, to understand what's going on, and to be able to judge. A person can be simplistic. I know I'm not starting with the vote, but a person can be simplistic in this life, but he has come through many gilgulim. He probably was a huge neshama before, especially if he's honest, huge neshama. Why is he not a big in Torah? Just because he has a very specific thing, a final thing to correct. So when people try to compare, hey, I know more than you. Well, let's see when we get into the real world and I show my real height, who really I am. You might tower the guy, you come from a previous generations, Danu Torah to an amount that can't be quantified, can't judge any Jew. Anyway, you'll see this in the second vote of the week. Now let's start on Yaakov Avinu. Let's go directly in the pasuk. I'm going to explain a few soidos in Krias Shema. I didn't take many psukim, just the psukim where Yaakov calls his children, the two psukim. That's enough for us to speak till next Viexi. Vayikra Yaakov el banav. Everyone touches, Yaakov called his children. Then this should have been S. When you go towards someone, is El, you're going to him. But if you're calling to yourself, is S, he called his children. They were in the room with him, but okay, he calls his children. Vayomer, he says, Hey, Osfu, gather up, ve'agida lachem es asher yikra eschem be'achris hayamim. Gather up, and I will reveal to you what's going to happen to you at the end of days, before the Geulah. In that case, if that's the right tag, Asher Yikra Eschem means what's going to happen to you. This Aleph should have been a Hey. Yikra Likrois is Yud Kuf Resh Hey. Yikra is to call. What are you saying, Yaakov Avinu, in this pasuk? And which yamim you talking? Be'achris hayamim, at the end of days. Are you talking about the Mashiach? Are you talking about Olam Haba, next world, about the next world? Yaakov goes with a different language. He kopzu, but you said before he asked for, why did you change? And now he stresses them. Veshimu b'nei Yaakov. Whoa. Veshimu banai, my children. No, he talks to them, Veshimu b'nei Yaakov. And he's going to repeat, Veshimu el Israel avichem. What's this Arichus in the Lashon here, why is he going with so many words? He could have said, Kavsu v'shimu el Yisrael avichem. No, he wanted to stress here, v'shimu bnei Yaakov v'shimu el Yisrael avichem. Rashi explains here that Yaakov wanted to tell them how the Geula will happen, and therefore Ruach HaKodesh left him. And then he couldn't reveal it anymore. So he told them different things, but definitely not the way the Geula will happen to the Bnei Israel. My question is, Yaakov Avinu, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to let us know, he would. Why would you decide all of a sudden to reveal the Bias Mashiach, the Geula Shlema, how it's going to happen that time, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not reveal it? And because you can't reveal it, all of a sudden you suspect that amongst your children there's someone that's not proper? Read it. You couldn't find, there's no other reason why you couldn't reveal. Like HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want. That's the reason he did not reveal it. That's not good enough for you as a terrorist. You suspect your children. What do the children? Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. And he answers, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. Yiboneh Shalom. I don't understand. Why did you have to, he suspects if there's someone with a psul, with someone who has a taina chaz v'sham on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, say no. What this whole ordeal about saying Krias Shema, Yaakov suspecting them, this is a drama. This is a true drama. Why all this drama? The first part of the share, I'm just going to give you some ideas so you understand, and then I'm going to apply them, and you're going to see how many soidas we have in Krias Shema. Says the Midrash Rabbah, from that Krias Shema that the Shvatim said, we were zoiche to have Krias Shema. Bnei Israel was zoiche to the mitzvah of Krias Shema, morning and evening. Wow. Like Sarah Imenu didn't say Krias Shema, we proved it. She said Krias Shema, but that Krias Shema, no. Avram said Krias Shema, but no. But the Shvatim said Krias Shema. What's the connection between the Krias Shema of the Shvatim and the Chiv Krias Shema we have Bnei Israel twice a day until end of times? So explains the Midrash what was the intention of the Shvatim, and say they intended to hint to Yaakov Avinu that the same way that you have no taina on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, also us, we have no taina on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem, that's Shema Yisrael. Listen, our Father Yisrael, you. Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad is one. We have no period. We don't have here any space, any blank in between. Nothing. Hashem Echad is one. And then Yaakov said, Neloton Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. And that's the Midrash ends, concludes by saying, when we say Shema Yisrael, we say Shema Yisrael, our father Yaakov that resides, that lays in Me'aras HaMachpelah. that the same thing that you ordered us, we still are mekayim. So every time, that's why the Shema has a big letter Ayin, and Echad has a big letter Dalet. It's an aid. This is our witness that we haven't changed from the heritage you have given us to unify the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu every time we say Shema Yisrael and accept the yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rabnu Bachye learns a bit differently. When he says Shema Yisrael, it means listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The intention of Yaakov Avinu was to tell them, listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because Yisrael is, I don't know how to explain you this, but those who learn with us, the Shechinah understand, there is 10 spheros that we call Yisrael Saba. They're right under Abba. They're in the Chokhmah. It's a place in the Chokhmah called Yisrael Saba. And when we say Shema Yisrael, we point to that place. And you will see later why. What's the reason we point to that place? Because both what they say, Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim Chaim, all of them, and this is the true father of the Bnei Israel, because the neshames of the Bnei Israel originate from them. That makes sense. That's the whole loop. So when a person says Shema Yisrael, he's basically attaching himself to his origin, to his place of origin, and from there, so he elevates himself all the way up there. Don't say Kriya Shema. He has to say Kriya Shema from there, from a very high place. Though the question is, what's the relation between the Shvatim saying Kriya Shema and between the obligation we have, us, the Bnei Yisrael, to say Kriya Shema midoraisa, according to the Torah, to say Kriya Shema twice, in the Beshachvecha uvkumecha, when you go to sleep, and when you get up, we have a chiyuv night and day to say. Apparently, it's because we say Yotzer Or Uvoireh Choshech. HaKadosh Baruch Hu recreates the world, as the Zohar say. The world is judged every day. Can he be recreated that day? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at the merits of the people. So, because it's a new Bria, again, you have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for that Bria. And in that Bria, make the Yichud of the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the unification of the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, why would you say more it's the Shvatim versus explaining it simply, which makes sense? The Gemara in Psachim reveals us quite a bit. Resh Lakish says, Vayikra Yaakov el Banav, he called his children, and he told them, gather up, and I will tell you, Yaakov bikesh lebanav ketz hayamim. Interesting. The pasuk says be'achris hayamim with the mem at the end. The Gemara teaches ketz hayamin, the end of the right. I will explain. And then the Shechinah left him. He says, maybe I'm not as shalom as I thought I was. Maybe I'm like Avraham who had Ishmael, like Yitzchak, my father, who had Esau. Maybe there's someone also amongst my children that is not completely proper. That's why they all said, Shema Yisrael, listen, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, to all of us, there's only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. At this time, Yaakov Avinu answered them, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed. It's not very much understandable. Why would he say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Va'ed? What's the connection to Krias Shema? And now we say them both. So the Gemara concludes, Chachamim said, what should we do? Moshe Rabbeinu, in Chumash Devarim, in Vayeschanan, he brings the whole thing of Shema, the whole paragraph of Shema. He doesn't say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Eloheinu. Should we not say it? But Yaakov said it. That's why Chazal were mesaken that we still have to add it by say it quietly. Now I'm going to explain a little bit what's this ketz hayamim, the end of the days, versus ketz hayamina, the end of the right. The Gemara didn't say he wanted to reveal ketz hayamim, the end of days. It said he wanted to reveal the end of the right. And the Zohar in Pashas Noach explains the difference. That David HaMelech davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, revealed to me, he said, reveal to me my end and the number of days I would live. Simply saying, that means just reveal to me when will I die. And Taka the Midrash learns like this, and he says, Hashem, he says, nobody knows in this world, this is one of the secrets of this world, I will not reveal it. The Zohar explains differently. He says there are two ends in the world. There is an end on the right that leads the person to Gan Eden. There's an end on the left that leads to Gehenna. So we have ketz hayamin and ketz hasmoil, ketz from the right and ketz from the small. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told David HaMelech that he's going to go to the ketz hayamin through the one from the right. So you see, there's no secret in this. So why would the Gemara say that Yaakov could not reveal it and the Shechinah left him? We see the same thing with Daniel. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu said in the pasuk, Ve'ata lech laketz, go to the end, ve'sanuach, and go rest means go pass away. He announced to him that his time has arrived. Daniel, which was a huge honor, asked the question, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there are two ends, on the right and on the left. Which one should I go to? HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, go to the ketz of the yamin, of the right, with the righteous people. I want to add here that this Gemara or that Midrash is mind-boggling. HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself testifies why he's going to save Avram, why he loved, because he will order his children after him to do two things, mishpat and tzedakah, justice and charity. Let's call it charity. So we see that Avraham Avinu gave us a heritage, had to be zoiche to Gan Eden. He gave us, he revealed that mishpat and tzedakah will lead a person to Gan Eden. Why wouldn't Yaakov be allowed to reveal us how do we reach the ketz hayamin? Once we proved that we're not talking about Milchemes Goyeg Umar Goyeg as I typed earlier, or the Geula Shlema, we only talking about what is the path to Gan Eden, why not reveal it? Everybody revealed. That's the job of a father. When he's about to leave this world, he has to order his children, to go on the right path. And what is that path? There's a Zohar in Parshas Rus that described the greatness of Krias Shema when it says properly. When a person says Krias Shema and he's thinking, he has kavana, he is not swallowing the words. At this point, this Krias Shema is going into a special heichal in Shamayim where Adam HaRishon is. And Adam HaRishon smells it and he sees if any letters of the 245 letters are missing. We're going to see it's 248 with the 3 words that the Chazan repeats, Hashem Eloikechem Emes. There's 245 without it and 248 with it. Why? Because the health of the body, just down here, depends on the way we say creation. Once Adam HaRishon smelt it and he saw that there's 248 words, he wakes up Avram and Yitzchak and Yaakov and he says, look, this is the Krias Shema of your children. Smell it. Once they see that Krias Shema, the Zohar say, who has ever seen such a joy in Shamayim? Who has ever seen the Ava is so proud of the children till today? Kol sheken, when this person will go into Shamayim, he will be zoiche that the Avos will call him twice a day, and he will be sitting with them. Why twice a day? It's mida keneged mida. He took his time every morning to say Krias Shema. So he's going to go in the morning to the Avos HaKdoshim. He took his time at night to say Krias Shema. He will go to the Avos HaKdoshim and sit with them during the period he was saying Krias Shema. And that's not it. Not only is going to be with them, but at that moment, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will shower on him a tal. What is tal? Tal is all right, someone opens the microphone.
The dew, I think.
The dew, yeah. Thank you. Of lights that in it is the man, the bread that the malachim are eating. So, because tal equals Yud Vav Dalet, Hey Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, first 3 letters of the name of Hashem in full, 39. And that's not it. That's not it. And on top of this, he will be zoiche to know what's going on in the world, even though usually a neshama, when he goes up to Shamayim, he goes about to go to Gan Eden, he goes to Nahar Dinoir. Nahar Dinoir is a Nahar of fire that goes all the way that fire to the Gehinnom. Reshaim get burnt with it, Tzaddikim get mikveh with it. And they dip in, and once the neshama comes out of the mikveh of Nahar Dinor, he forgot everything about this world. The neshama doesn't remember. And this person will know not only what happens in the world, but what will happen in the world in the future. Until HaKadosh Baruch Hu will come out and reveal himself to the world. Meaning, he see misoifa oilam ve'atsoifa. He is one of those who deserve to have knowledge. So now that we define, and this is the ketz hayamin, this is at the end of the right. At the end of the right is the Gan Eden. How do we go to the Gan Eden? Krishma. Okay, what's the big deal to reveal this? Yaakov Avinu, the Chazal. I mean, we just been doing a few Chazal here. Zohar, a few Midrashim, a Gemara. Okay, it's being revealed to us. So why would the Shechinah leave Yaakov Avinu for such a side? Why? There's no reason to it. In contrary, since the Avos HaKadoshim have such a nachas from it, since Adam HaRishon has such a nachas from us saying Krias Shema properly, obviously HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a huge nachas from it, and the proof is that from the keser you have this dew coming on that person every day, twice a day. And look what he's zoiche. That shows you how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has nachas when a Ben Israel says the Krias Shema properly. So why would the Shechinah leave him? In contrary, the Shechinah should have convinced him to tell us that's gula of Krias Shema. Slowly, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We see that when Israel used to go to war, the Kohen used to tell them, Shema Israel, listen Israel, atem krevim hayoim lamilchama, you close to war, alayvechem, on your enemy, al yerach levavchem. Don't be soft. Al tiru. Don't be scared. Al techbezu. Don't shiver. One second. Who used to go to war with the Bnei Israel? The tzaddikim. Guys, basically, that never learned how to use a sword. We're not talking about Hercules or Alexander the Great that were training and everything the whole time to be huge warriors. They probably didn't even know how to handle a sword. As Achashverosh, I told you many times, writes in his letters, it's in Targum Sheni, in Perek Dalet of, no, it's not, yes, Perek Dalet of Esther, that he never understood how Bnei Israel were going to war. They never had weapons. So what was his weapon? So now we have to touch the pasuk differently then. Ve'oma aleihem Shema Yisrael. Time to say Shema Yisrael, because you are close to the milchama. Obviously, a normal person will be scared. But once you say Shema Yisrael, that's it. You open the gates, and from up there, they're going to go fight for you. You're not fighting. The Gemara is asking, in Soita, the Gemara is asking why it says Shema Yisrael when the whole parsha of this Kohen is not Kohen Gadol, but he's a Kohen Mashuach Milchama. He's a Kohen dedicated to take the Bnei Israel out of to war. He's in third degree on the Kohen Gadol. And why it says in singular. The whole parsha talks in plural, but this is in singular. Rabbi Yochanan says in the name of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, this is a guarantee that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. Even if you have not been mekayim the mitzvahs, but you say Kriya Shema properly, the other side cannot against you. Another side from the Gemara. Shema Yisrael is not only a geula for the whole cloud, it's also a geula for the person himself. It's a geula from his tzares. His tzares tells me that he doesn't say Kriya Shema properly. That's what the Gemara says. In Birkas Avram, he brings a tremendous remez on Parshas Kiseitze La Milchama. It says in the pasuk, if you go out in war and you capture a captive, explains the Birkas Avram that Veshavisa Shivyoi is the first letters he hints. Look at this, to tell us that our words are calculated in the emes. Veshavisa Shivyo, and you will capture a captive. Like really, we need the repetition, but I'm not going in there. I'm not in Kiseitze. Yachdim Shimcha Bechol Yom Tamid ve'omrim beyahava Shema Yisrael. What we say in the Karbonos right before saying Shema Yisrael. Those letters, with these letters, you go out to war, and you capture. Not only you defend yourself, but you also capture from the other side. Unbelievable. We see that Kriya Shema now is greater for the very person himself. There is a testimony, it's not known, that Sefer of Eldad Hadani. Is Eldad from the Shevet Dan. We don't know where Shevet Dan is. But when he explained there that there's a story that came out, and I told you about Reb Shlomo Molcho, right? The one who wrote Shalom Aleichem. That he was a priest beforehand, and what struck him is this big Jew that came from the Arab land, and he said they had a Melech Yisrael. I suspect, and they used to be great warriors. I suspect it might be these people, maybe. Anyway, Eldad Adani, he describes that there was 4 Shvatim there: Reuven, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And the Nasi was Elitzaphan from the house of Oliav, from the Shevet of Dan. And his flag was white, and it was written on it, Shema Yisrael, in black, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And when they used to go to war, they used to start screaming time after time, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Scream and go to war. And they used to decimate huge armies. Sefer Eldad Adani. Now we understand the cheshbon through that, what Goliath was doing. If you pay attention in the lashon of the pasuk, I want to give you an encyclopedic view, and then like this, I'm going to be able to give you a few soidos here. But you have to understand that this is sealed. This is 1,000,000%. No matter where we're going to take it, Boker, Erev, you're going to see it's Krias Shema in the Torah. So when David HaMelech is going to take down Goliath, what was Goliath doing? Every morning and evening, he would come and curse. You know who he was cursing. What is morning and evening? It was when the Bnei Israel were saying Krias Shema. So they could not concentrate on Krias Shema. Because he knew that if the Bnei Israel, like Bilam told Balak, as long as these people are saying Krias Shema, you can nothing against them. You have to make them stop saying Krias Shema, then you will be able. And David HaMelech, we know the story, took 5 stones. Why 5 stones? There's 4 letters in Yud Kei Vav Kei. Why 5? Because he was Keneged Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem. 5. Why not 6? So we had Echad also. Says the Zohar, where he placed them in the pocket, this is Keneged Echad, because the Malchus comprehends everything, unifies everything. So this is Echad and reveals the Zohar. The 5 stones became 1. So David HaMelech took down Goliath with the Sgula of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Huge word. The importance of this, we can even see it in Halacha, in Orach Chaim, Siman Samech Aleph. The Mechaber says that when you in Tzibur, so when we don't start Kel Melech Ne'eman, we start Shema Yisrael. Why? Because the Baal Tefillah will be Choze Hashem Elokeichem Emes. That makes 248 words. But if the Rama says if you're not in Tzibur, you should start with El Melech Ne'eman, so you have the 248 words against the limbs of a person. A person's health depends, and that's the Rama. The person's health depend on his way of saying Krias Shema. I finished my turn. Now we're going to go a little bit in. Understand why is this Krias Shema so important and what does he carry inside? The Megale Amukos reveals on Parshas Vayeschanan that when Moshe Rabbeinu daven Vayeschanan el Hashem ba'esahi leimor, what is that tefillah? So the Malachim ask the Malach Matat, who's shaking all the worlds? It says is Moshe Rabbeinu. He called him Ge'oin Yaakov, meaning the captain of the house of Yaakov. So when Moshe Rabbeinu was davening, he was davening through the Sgula of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. The skies cannot remain closed. When someone say these words, even HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not want to accept the tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu to bring him in Eretz Yisrael. The tefillah of Moshe forced him to the point that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, make a choice. If you say one more tefillah, I'll be obliged to take you into Eretz Yisrael. But since I cannot, I'll destroy the world. Moshe refrained. from the 516th field. But look what it took to stop him. That shows us what's the power of Shema. Says the Megale Amukos. Every person is composed from a nefesh, ruach, neshama. Nefesh from Avraham. Ruach from Yitzchak. Neshama from Yaakov. I'm going to take you now. We're going to go a little bit. So let me go and share here into the. We have. So did I write it? Nefesh ruach neshama? No, I didn't write it. So let me write it. Nefesh, because we're going to use it. Ruach neshama. Okay. So we have on one hand this nefesh ruach neshama that is affected by the way we say Krias Shema. Against it, right here we have chalal rasha toyeva. What this pasuk means? Chalal equals 68 equals chaim. On the right side, you have life. On the left side, you have emptiness. Chalal is emptiness. And we're going to go deeper in this pasuk to understand what's happening. What is a chalal? I can just go. Chalal rasha equals 638 equals Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. In other words, a person is composed by nefesh. I'm going to take it from there. Is composed by nefesh, ruach, neshama, and what takes it down is the chalal rasha, the emptiness of the rasha. To give you an example, which is often in the Darya Kodesh, is the chestnut. You have a green clipper around it. Then you have a hard shell, very hard to crack. Then you have a challah, a space. The fruit, unlike other fruits, doesn't fill the void. There's void around the fruit. And this is challah. This is where the rasha is. And if we take all the whole pasuk, chalal rasha to'eva equal 1,000. Sorry, it's 1,121 equal Krias Shema. In other words, when the person is a complete rasha, when he says Krias Shema, is a to'eva to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, he cannot access the sgula of Krias Shema. We know what he does when we call him a rasha here. So, but when a person is a Ben Israel, he has the three midos, he's trying his best, he's an honest person, he has good midos, he's obviously not a Rasha. He can make mistakes, but he's shoygeg, he's not a Rasha. He's zoiche to have from Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov nefesh ruach neshama, which equals to 1,039, which equals to the 4 legs of the Merkava. If you want the Shechinah to come to you, you have to turn the wheels. The legs of the Kisa HaKavod are Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and David. And they're coming toward you. That's what you do with Krias Shema. You're gearing the Shechinah at you. And we're going to see what this does. Because this equals 638 plus 14 equals how much? 54. 654. And if you take the word nekama in full, nun, kuf, mem, hey, I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to put this. This is nefesh ruach neshama. He comes to protect you. He comes to avenge you. He comes as the other side see that you have this on you, they don't start with you. That's what the Zohar says. One of the sgulas of Krias Shema is you lock into a bubble. Nothing can come in. The Megale Amukos keeps on saying on the pasuk that David HaMelech says, "Velibi cholol bekirbi." My heart maybe is empty, like the cholol of the Rasha. I don't have chaim because everybody says with the Maaseh with Bathsheba, maybe it was choite. And he tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu, "Ve'ato Hashem magen ba'adi." Please be a protection for me. Why? Because I say Krias Shema the right way. Look at this. If I take Magen, says the Megale Amukos, these are the 3 malachim of the Merkava, Michael, south, Gav, El, north. Okay, we're going to put a nun. No, real. I'm just going to replace it from here. I have it here. To the east. Michal Keneged, that's Magen. Keneged Avram, who's in the south, the Chesed. Gavriel Keneged Yitzchak with Negvura. Nuriel Keneged Yaakov Avinu, who is in the east, the Tiferes. That's Magen. Send me your malachim to protect me. That's why Hashem, Ve'ato Hashem Magen Ba'adi, through these malachim, protect me. But it's far deeper than that. Because if I take the 3 malachim, equals again 638. Equals Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Exactly what we said. Unbelievable. It's going to be mind-boggling today, these gematrias. And how do we get Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Through Krias Shema. Don't know if I'm going to tell you this. I'd rather go in the pasuk. Now, if we go, we ask the question here. Asher yikra eschem, what are we talking about? Because it says with an aleph at the end. Asher yikra eschem equals 1,273 equals Hanistaros Lashem Eloikeinu. Something was touched there in Ochinami. What Rashi says, I still don't understand. But I know he wanted to reveal a secret. And the secret remains with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now we're going to have to dig and see what it is. Because if I take the second time Yaakov is talking, no, I have to finish this first. I'm sorry. If we dig, we go deeper, we go with the kollel of each word here. Asher yikra eschem. Remember, it says yikra, to read. So with the kollel, it's 1,276. Do you know what's 1,276 equals to? It's 2 times 38. So you just take this. I jumped when I saw that. This is, and you take this. And you put them together. Yaakov Avinu revealed the side. When a person, it's not yikra with the hey. He never intended to reveal them the Geula Shlema. He wanted to tell them. He told them the Segula when you read Kriya Shema properly. That's what it is. Then you have Magain, as we explained before. You're in a bubble, you're protected. Why? Because you have Michal, Gavriel, Nuriel protecting on the outside, and Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov on the inside. That's what the person has. And since they were complete, there's nothing can be incomplete in your body. Now, we asked the question earlier, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to hide the secret of the Geula, if that's what Yaakov wanted to, supposition, if Yaakov, that's what he wanted to reveal, why did he reveal it? The Gemara says in Sanhedrin, En ben David ba Elab, I'm going to write it for you. En ben David ba Ela beheiseach hadas. We all expect a big firework, big things happening. before Mashiach arrives, but Chazal teras haftacha, no, it's not going to be like this. It's going to be when he has arrived, we will know that he has arrived. It's not going to happen that all of a sudden we're going to prepare ourselves, wear Shabbos. No, he's coming beheiseya chadas. People are going to be at work. People are going to go still eating in restaurants. This one making a birthday. This one a barbecue. And then all of a sudden we're going to hear Mashiach is here. That's the way it comes. So that would be also a proof that, I don't know, Yaakov Avinu never intended, that was not his intention to reveal. So why did he want to reveal? Look, we have words in the pasuk. We have to be able to touch them. What's be'acharis hayam? Pashtus, the end of time. So if that's the end of time, there's no 10 ways to explain the end of time. Sorry. What did I do? Control Z. I said I'm going to copy this. I'm going to try to explain. This equals 76. This equals 76. Yaakov knew. En ben David ba elo beheiseya chadas. But he wanted to reveal a side had to know and had to get ready not to be caught off guard. Mashiach is here. Had to be ready and had to know when it's the time is really going to come before he comes. In order, you beating him to the clock. At the end, you're going to know that is Mashiach arriving. That's the part. Yes, he wanted to teach the soidos of Krias Shema, which he did. Why? Because we cannot survive without Krias Shema. In any tzara a person is, he should wait a second. Think of making tshuva. So like this implies, because every mitzvah has to be done at 3 levels. We learned last week, machshava with the mind, dibur with the mouth, maise an action. And when you are really going, so here you say Krias Shema, we're going to ask me, where is the action? Your body should tremble. That's the action when you say Krias Shema, when you say the yichud. If you're lacking one of them, you're not doing the mitzvah completely, and it's going to be lacking, and it's not going to have the same effect. Just to remind what we learned last week, machshava, dibur, maise equals 982. The one who's capable of doing these mitzvahs are only a Ben Israel. Because Ben Israel means the Baishanim, Rachmanim, Goimlei, Chasadim. The one who belittles the simple Jew is not a Baishan. He's an arrogant person. He's not a Rachman. He doesn't feel for the pain that he's causing the other. And he's not Gomer Chesed, he's Gomer Rishus, Ra, to his friend. Mach. This guy obviously cannot be Mekayim the mitzvah or any mitzvah property. He doesn't have, he's not called the Israel, he's called the Erev Rab. Read the second, your eyes will open up about what's going on. So Yaakov Avinu told them, Hey osfu ve'agida lachem. I want to reveal to you. So we went now, we discovered what Yaakov Avinu was after. Hey osfu ve'agida lachem equals 271. Equals Arami Oived Avi. What's the connection? That's what we say in the Haggadah is called Lavan. He wanted to kill Yaakov. He was always after Yaakov since he arrived in Haran with his kishuf, but Yaakov was able to overcome the kishuf. The kishuf never had any effect on Yaakov. And Esau was very scared of Lavan. So that's why he was very scared of Yaakov Avinu. So what is he telling his children here? He's telling them, I'm going to reveal you the side, how I overcame the power of Lavan. That even Kishuf has no grasp of a person who says Krias Shema properly. The same way the Midrash says that Yosef, everywhere he was walking, his lips were moving. We learned he was saying Shema base. We learned here, we learned saying Krias Shema. This is how a person elevates himself above the powers of this world. There's no power in this world that can overcome, that can overtake him, that can overpower him. There's nothing. It's a pity today on an earlier shir, I don't remember the gematria by heart, but I think it was now in my mind, in the back of my mind, it was Esav, Yishmael, and Amalek. There's someone in this shir that was in the earlier shir. If they remember, they can remind me. And it was all the whatever. So Yaakov Avinu revealed a side to his children, and we asked the question, that even the power of Kishuf, you can take it. Where did I write it? And we asked the question after that. Now I can, because I'm finishing. The children decided to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Echad. We say, why is Yaakov Avinu say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchusoi Le'olam Boy equals 2,476. Equals dot for dot. Exactly. That's what Yaakov was after. The second time he realized that he couldn't tell them how to get ready for Mashiach before he arrives. He still had a side to give them, and that's the proof to our whole shir that the purpose, Yaakov Avinu gathered them up the second time in order to reveal the side of Krias. What is then the side of Krias? And I'll be finishing on this. I could go till tomorrow on Krias, but if you what is this yichud doing? This equals 1,180 equals 13 times Elohim. So somehow it doesn't matter where you at, it doesn't matter what have you done, it doesn't matter what. This is your sword. You're going to take all the dinim and you're going to remove them from you. This equals all the Elohim, okay? In full. Yeah, people don't know here, so I'm going to have to write them. Aleph, Lamed, Elohim. Yud, Hey, Yud, Mem. This equals 300. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem. This equals 291. Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yud, Mem. This equals 295. Altogether, these so 300, 291, 295, if I recall well, equals 851. Plus, we have all the names of the Yud Ke Vav Ke in full. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. 1,180. What's the side? We know that, like in the Kaddish, Yud Ke Vav Ke tempers the dinim of Elohim. Like in the Shechinah, we saw it all the time. That's the combination that we have done it, but all the names are in full. Meaning the Kriya Shema goes and looked for all the dinim and annul them. That's the power of Kriya Shema. What is the power? What is the power of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusoi Le'olam Voed? What he comes to do? Equals 1,358 equals, okay, I'm going to have to write it fastest. The Ralab, the phoneme of HaKadosh Baruch Hu here, the Yud Ke Vav Ke equals 232. That's how we call 232. The Tana, all the Shemos of Keye together, and Tar'a is the name of Aleph Dalet Nun Yud. Basically is these three names that Yaakov used to fight the Malach of Esav. Yud Ke Vav Ke with all the feelings, so it comes to 32. Keye with all its feelings equals 455. And the name in the Shechinah in full. This equals 212. Equals Yabok. That's the side that Yaakov did to fight the... So here, everything is done in the Malchus in full. Okay, that's great. Must be a big, tremendous doings here. So what are we doing? Equals bris in full. Base, Reish, Yud, Sub. No matter, as we said before, it only proving it again and again, the bris between Bnei Israel and HaKadosh Baruch Hu that Avram has made, that whenever HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Imoi Anoichi Betzara, whenever they are in a tzara, I am with them. How do I get this to come? It's nice to say this in Tehillim. It's beautiful words, but I don't want them as words. I want them as facts. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchusoi Le'olam Vaed. This is your biggest offense, defense, protection, way to Olam Haba, everything you want. Together, all the brachos, Xeris Toivos. I could have gone deeper, but I think we get a good picture here. Boch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen. Your next Krias Shema should be totally different from the previous, and every time, elevate yourself. Say it with more intent. I am accepting Oil Malchus Shamayim, the yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on my back, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I am not the best. My life takes me the... Don't worry. Accept, let HaKadosh Baruch Hu do the work. He will raise you. And with that, we should be Zeiche to Geula Shlema Bimhera B'Yameinu. Amen.
Amen.